It all began on a dark and stormy night. Lucifer's father abandoned him, his sister, and their mother for another woman. Desperate and heartbroken, his mother knelt outside his father's door, pleading for mercy, but her cries fell on deaf ears. When the door finally opened, kindness wasn't waiting on the other side, just a ferocious dog with eyes blazing red. Their mother shielded Lucifer and his sister as the beast lunged for blood. She survived the savage attack only because the dog was called off. But the father's message was loud and clear: never come back. Years passed, yet the pain refused to fade. Just when life seemed to be getting back on its feet, tragedy struck once again. Lucifer's mother was framed and falsely accused of a terrible crime. Cornered and helpless, she made one last sorrowful call to Lucifer before stepping off the edge of a high-rise building. Lucifer raced to the scene, but fate was already sealed. He found his mother lifeless, and beside her, his 10-year-old sister sobbing her heart out. Yet tragedy had another card to play. Shortly afterward, an assassin came gunning for their lives, armed with a bloodied blade. Just when Lucifer thought his end was near, a mysterious man appeared like a ghost, killing the assassin in the blink of an eye. Promising safety for Lucifer's sister, the stranger took Lucifer under his wing. For 10 brutal years, Lucifer endured ruthless training. Meanwhile, war consumed the country, pushing China's borders to the brink of collapse. As the army crumbled under enemy fire, Lucifer stormed into battle alone, becoming death itself. Crushing tanks, slicing guns like paper, and cutting down enemy commanders like weeds. In one terrifying night, Lucifer turned the tide of war. His feats became legendary, earning him the name King of the War Wings Army. Yet, the true chaos was only just beginning. In the present day, Lucifer stood silently before his mother's grave, defiled, blood-stained, and openly mocked. He placed his hand on the gravestone, looking at his mother's gentle smile in the photo. A soft breeze whispered past as he spoke quietly. "Mom, I'm back." 10 years, he muttered, eyes darkening. 10 years since my father tossed us aside, bullied, cast away, left with nothing. His voice hardened with steel-like resolve. But now the king of the battlefield has returned. Hayden won't ever be the same. Just then, a group of thugs swaggered into the cemetery. "Who let you in? Didn't you see the sign?" One sneered mockingly. Another thug chuckled arrogantly. "Miss Nana Shangguan told us to trash this grave. Guess you arrived just in time to admire our handiwork." Lucifer's gaze sharpened. "Nana Shangguan, I should have known. Once, Nana had been his mother's closest friend, until jealousy poisoned her heart. A powerful figure from the Chen family had fallen for his mother, unbothered by her troubled past, but she rejected him, having lost all faith in men. Coincidentally, Nana desired the same man, but he rejected her. Enraged and driven by envy, Nana made Lucifer's mother's life a living hell. Using her family's real estate connections, she forged documents, stole their home, and reduced it to rubble overnight. Lucifer, his sister, and their mother were thrown to the wolves, left homeless on the streets. But Nana wasn't satisfied. To tie up loose ends, she issued a chilling ultimatum: jump off a building, or your children die tonight. In desperation, Lucifer's mother chose death to save her children, yet even then, Nana's cruelty knew no bounds. "Kill her brats too. No loose ends," she ordered coldly. Even after her death, Nana defiled his mother's grave, sealing it off with barbed wire and hiring thugs to intimidate mourners. Nana wanted her completely erased from existence, and now, exactly 10 years later, Nana had chosen this day to desecrate the grave once more. Lucifer's eyes burned with hatred. She truly is the devil incarnate. One thug stepped forward menacingly. "Listen, buddy, I'm not in the mood. Beat it before I beat the shut out of you." Lucifer remained stone cold, unmoved. Another thug groaned impatiently. "I should be sipping cocktails at Mr. Chen's party, not digging up graves." He flashed a sinister grin. "Tell you what, crawl between Mr. Do's legs and we'll let you walk." Or, his smile widened viciously, "You'll crawl out of here with 2 broken legs." The thug spat disrespectfully on the gravestone and his friends erupted into laughter. "Damn John! Nice aim!" Sneering mockingly, the thug leaned in. "What's with that face? Never seen a man spit before? I can give you an encore if you'd like." Before he could utter another word, Lucifer moved like lightning. He grabbed the thug by the throat, lifting him effortlessly into the air before slamming him brutally to the ground. Standing over the beaten man, Lucifer's voice dripped with icy contempt. "You, lick it clean for me." The thug stared, eyes wide in disbelief. "Did he just lift John? The dude weighs like 200 pounds. Another thug swallowed hard, fear creeping into his voice. "That's no man. He's a beast. Mr. Do, help me." John coughed, desperately trying to pick himself off the ground. But before John could even blink, Lucifer struck with surgical precision, a flash of movement, and suddenly John's leg was severed. John crumpled to the dirt, clutching his bleeding limb as his screams pierced the air. "Argh! My leg!" Lucifer's voice remained cold and commanding. "I said, lick it clean." His words fell like stones, quiet yet dangerously firm. "Don't make me repeat myself a third time." Shaking uncontrollably, John crawled to the gravestone, fear overtaking his body. Yes, I'll do it now. I'm doing it. Just then, the sky was torn apart by the deafening roar of helicopter blades. A shadow fell over the cemetery as a massive helicopter hovered into view, carrying a colossal shipping container. Soon, the sky darkened further, crowded with a fleet of helicopters, each bearing similar containers. Lucifer calmly raised a finger, authority radiating from his every move. Now! At his command, the containers plunged from above, crashing to the ground with thunderous force. The earth shook violently beneath their feet, and elite soldiers swiftly descended from the helicopters, landing in perfect harmony. Hundreds of soldiers surged toward Lucifer, instantly dropping to one knee in reverent unison. Your Highness! Their voices echoed with unwavering loyalty. Lucifer stood tall, his presence alone enough to command armies. Do it now! Without hesitation, the soldiers responded loudly. Yes, Your Highness! The containers burst open, revealing stacks of gleaming gold bars, glittering brilliantly beneath the sunset. Use these gold bars to rebuild the grave, a soldier commanded. A grave once defiled by hatred, now reborn in pure gold. The onlookers' jaws dropped, shock and awe gripping them. Holy shit, that's real gold! 20 whole cases, one gasped. Another shouted incredulously, Jesus, that's billions worth, easily. As golden light bathed the newly built grave, Lucifer stood solemnly before it, gaze unwavering. He whispered softly, his voice tinged with bittersweet nostalgia. Mom, you once joked about having a golden grave so you'd never run out of money on the other side. Now, that whimsical dream had become reality, her legacy forever untouchable. Lucifer clenched his fists tightly, eyes blazing with fury. In 1 month, Nana Shangguan will kneel right here before you, Mother, paying for her sins with her very life. Mr. Du and his remaining men trembled uncontrollably, terrified by the overwhelming display of power. One thug muttered fearfully, A golden grave! Who the hell is this guy? Lucifer turned slowly, his voice ice cold. What was it you were saying earlier? Mr. Du and his men immediately dropped to their knees, bowing desperately. We were hired by Mr. Mohan Chen, an elder of the Chen family, to guard this place. Mr. Du stammered, voice shaking. Lucifer's eyes darkened dangerously. So, Nana Shangguan had finally gotten her claws into the Chen family. After 10 years, she probably had them wrapped around her little finger. Clearly, this Mohan Chen was another puppet dancing to her tune. Mr. Du, mistakenly regaining some confidence, flashed a nervous smirk. I knew it. Nobody messes with the Chen family in Hayden. Elder Mohan is one of their strongest. Everybody knows his name. Lucifer stepped forward calmly, flames erupting at his feet. Elder Mohan? So what? An inferno of energy exploded outward from Lucifer, slicing through the air like sharpened blades. In a flash, the men were torn apart, their bodies reduced to pieces before screams could even escape. Mr. Du, the last one standing, dropped to his knees, desperately kowtowing. Please, it's a misunderstanding. Let me explain. Lucifer's gaze remained pitiless. Explain? The king of the battlefield doesn't waste time on explanations. Mr. Du froze, suddenly realizing who stood before him. King of the battlefield? You're the newly crowned king of war wings? The one who defies gods? But before another word escaped his lips, bang! Lucifer's overwhelming force obliterated him instantly. Finally, Lucifer stepped forward, pulling a pristine white cloth from his pocket, wrapping it gently around the old blood-stained gravestone, a final act of reverence before its golden replacement. Lucifer wrapped the old gravestone in white cloth, turning decisively to his men. Let's roll. Nana Shangguan's throwing a party for her son. It's only fair we drop by, congratulate him, and hand-deliver this special gift as payback for everything she's done. He descended the steps smoothly, his men following without a word. The scene shifts to Capitol Hotel, an iconic spot in Hayden. Lucifer stepped out of his car, memories flooding in as he recalled this hotel stood right where his mother's house used to be. One of his men stepped up, offering, Boss, let me deal with those punks inside. Lucifer calmly shook his head. Nah, go check on my mom's grave. I'll handle these clowns myself. Lucifer strode into the hotel carrying the wrapped gravestone, immediately turning heads with his powerful, confident aura. Women in the crowd couldn't help but stare, totally captivated. Lucifer slammed the gravestone onto the table, the heavy thud silencing the room. He dropped into a seat, swirling his wine casually as nearby women whispered excitedly. I've never seen anyone like him in Hayden, one woman said breathlessly. Forget Hayden, he's got to be the hottest guy alive, another replied, giggling quietly. As Lucifer sat unbothered, security suddenly pulled up. Xander Wang, the head of security, locked eyes onto Lucifer, suspicious and annoyed. Xander stepped forward assertively. Sir, you've got to sign in at reception. Hotel rules. Internally, Xander seethed. Who does this guy think he is, just strolling in like he owns the joint? He demanded sharply. Show me your invitation, reaching for the wrapped object, adding harshly. And what's this? Gotta inspect it first. Lucifer sipped his drink coolly, unfazed, his tone icy. he replied. You're not qualified to see what's inside. Bring Nana Shangguan out here. Lucifer effortlessly snatched a pair of chopsticks, gripping Xander's wrist midair like it was nothing. Xander struggled helplessly, face twisting in anger and embarrassment. Let go, damn it, he growled. I can smash rocks with these hands. Why can't I move? Lucifer calmly released him, and Xander stumbled backward awkwardly, crashing onto a table. Plates shattered, wine spilled everywhere. Xander, face dripping wine, burned with humiliation. Lucifer casually dropped the chopsticks, completely chilled. From the balcony, Henry Chen watched curiously. Elder Mohan? Thoughts on this kid? Elder Mohan smirked arrogantly. Please, I'd body him in one move. Henry laughed coldly. So many fools stepped to my mom. They all ended up fish food. This dude's clueless. Meanwhile, Xander barked angrily. What are you idiots waiting for? Kick this punk's ass! Just as guards stepped up aggressively, a sharp voice cut through the chaos. Hold up! Vivian Xuan, the director of PR, walked forward confidently, immediately grabbing everyone's attention. She flashed a charming smile at Lucifer. Hey there, I'm Vivian Xuan, director of PR at Capitol Hotel. Call me Vivian. She leaned closer, smiling seductively. Come on, let's have a drink. I'm sure we can squash this little misunderstanding. She smoothly sat down on Lucifer's lap, drink in hand, smiling playfully. Mind showing me what's in that package? Lucifer coldly brushed her aside, firmly pushing her off. You're not qualified either. Tell Nana Shangguan to come. Vivian stumbled backward, landing hard on the floor, her face twisting angrily. Are you kidding me right now? You ungrateful jerk. Mateo Zhao exploded angrily, his voice booming. This dude just hit Vivian right in front of us. Y'all blind or something? He angrily slapped Xander's face. What am I even paying you for, huh? Xander bowed quickly, red-faced. You're right, Mr. Zhao. Our bad. Mateo rushed to Vivian's side, checking on her worriedly. Vivian, you good? Mateo Zhao's heart skipped a beat as Vivian cried out dramatically. He hit me. Wah! Fury erupted in Mateo's voice, eyes blazing with anger. You've got some nerve laying hands on Vivian, you son of a butch! Who the hell do you think you are? He jabbed his finger aggressively, yelling, Kowtow to Vivian right now and get lost, or else. Lucifer ignored him, eyes distant, drifting away in thought. This used to be Mom's home. Mom, my little sister, and I were so happy here, he mused quietly. Memories flooded him, his sister's laughter echoing through the rooms, his mother gently calling them for dinner. But those warm moments quickly faded, replaced by the cold present. Mateo Zhao's voice ripped through Lucifer's thoughts, harsh and impatient. All right, tough guy. The hard way it is. His confidence boiling over, Mateo turned sharply towards security. Captain Xander Wang, why the hell are you just standing there? Kill this bastard. I'll take full responsibility. Captain Wong roared fiercely. Boys, get him! The security guards surged forward, fists clenched, ready to beat Lucifer down. Lucifer remained seated calmly, casually sipping his wine, totally unfazed by the chaos. Mateo quickly pulled Vivian aside, whispering urgently, Vivian, let's bounce. It's about to get ugly here. I don't want to scare you. Just as he spoke, one guard lunged toward Lucifer aggressively, baton raised. Lucifer reached for the wrapped gravestone beside him, channeling his chi effortlessly into it. He lifted it high, then slammed it onto the ground, releasing a fierce surge of power. An explosive wave of energy erupted outward instantly, tearing through the hall. The floor cracked open, hurling the charging guards backward like rag dolls. Bodies flew wildly, crashing through tables and chairs, shattering furniture on impact. The aftermath was wild, pure chaos as Lucifer stood calmly amidst it all, untouched. Henry Chen stared down from the balcony, muttering in disbelief, This guy's built different. What's your take, Elder Mohan? Elder Mohan smirked slightly, eyes narrowing with intrigue. He's got potential. I'd give him 3 hits at most. Henry leaned back comfortably, amused. All right then, guess we can chill up here for now. But I gotta ask, what's with that thing wrapped in white he's carrying? Mateo smirked confidently as he escorted Vivian away. Haha, hear that noise? What'd I tell you, that guy's just all talk. But as Mateo slowly turned around, his arrogant grin vanished instantly, eyes widening in disbelief. What the hell? The guards, who moments ago had charged forward full of swagger, were now all kneeling on the floor, completely subdued. Lucifer sat casually in his seat, calmly swirling the wine glass in his hand. Hey, fatty, come here. Mateo's voice trembled. See, Capitol Hotel belongs to the Chen family. You're crashing Mr. Chen's birthday and engagement party. He tried puffing himself up, but the sweat trickling down his forehead gave him away. Mrs. Chen will be here any minute. Better learn some humility real quick. Prick! Forcing a shaky smile, Mateo quickly changed tactics. You can skip signing in if you don't want to. His voice cracked nervously as he turned away, trembling slightly. Just wait here. Mrs. Chen and Mr. Chen are on their way. Internally, Mateo thought, better not piss this guy off anymore. I'll let Mr. Chen deal with him. Meanwhile, Lucifer remained perfectly calm. He casually lifted the gravestone once more and hurled it toward Mateo. It smashed down inches away from him, violently shaking the floor. Mateo stumbled backward in shock, nearly falling before Vivian instinctively steadied him. Lucifer slowly approached Mateo, his cold stare piercing straight through him. Didn't you just say you'd take full responsibility if someone killed me? A chilling smirk formed on Lucifer's face. Too bad, I don't show mercy to people who want me dead. Suddenly, Lucifer's overwhelming spiritual pressure filled the room like an invisible tidal wave. Mateo trembled, his knees giving out completely as his forehead slammed onto the floor. Forcing a grin through gritted teeth, Mateo sneered defiantly, "Go ahead, kill me. The Chen family owns this place. You wouldn't dare." Mateo's arrogant smirk vanished entirely as Lucifer raised his foot, flames erupting around him. One stomp and Mateo was toast. Eyes wide with pure terror, Mateo screamed desperately, "Wait! No, please!" Just as Lucifer prepared to end him, a sharp voice suddenly echoed through the room. "Stop it right now!" A group hurried down the stairs, led by Henry and Elder Mohan. Vivian ran frantically toward Henry, her voice shaking. "Mr. Chen, he barged in without signing," she cried pitifully, clinging tightly to Henry's arm. "I only asked him to follow hotel rules, but he shoved me away. Then he threatened Mr. Zhao. Please help us." Mateo struggled, rage twisting his expression as he shouted desperately, "You're dead meat, bastard. Let me go, and maybe I'll spare you after stabbing you 300 times." Lucifer didn't even bother to respond. With a single decisive step, he ended Mateo right then and there. Mateo's body slammed onto the ground heavily, blood pooling beneath him. Lucifer calmly stepped through the pooling blood, his voice chillingly composed. "So, were you telling me what to do?" Henry froze in place, shaking uncontrollably as fear gripped him. Instinctively, he stumbled backward. Elder Mohan swiftly grabbed Henry's arm, trying to steady him as Henry stammered helplessly, "And no, I wasn't." Panic seeped through his voice, his forehead drenched in cold sweat. Whispers spread like wildfire among the crowd. "Yo, did Mr. Chen drop to the floor from a single look?" Someone muttered incredulously. "Who the hell even is this dude?" Another exclaimed, voice full of shock. Meanwhile, Elder Mohan firmly steadied Henry, instructing him sharply, "Take a seat, Henry. Let me handle this." Elder Mohan narrowed his eyes, stroking his beard thoughtfully. "I miscalculated," he finally admitted. "Thought you could only handle 3 hits. Looks like you can handle 10. Lucifer's gaze sharpened, voice cold as ice. "You're the one who ordered them to dig up the grave and to file the headstone?" Mohan's expression darkened immediately. He turned quickly to his underling, barking orders. "Call Mr. Du right now. I need to know exactly what went down at God's Mountain Cemetery." Lucifer casually raised his hand dismissively. "Don't bother. I already killed them all." Mohan's eyes widened briefly in shock before twisting with fury. "You've got some nerve, kid. Who the hell are you?" He jabbed a finger toward Lucifer, demanding answers. Lucifer simply smirked, eyes filled with contempt. "You don't need to know." Lucifer smirked coldly. "You're eager to meet your maker, old man? I can arrange that. If you survive just 1 hit from me, consider it your win." Mohan's eyes blazed with fury, his voice thick with anger. "You're way too cocky, brat." He lunged forward, flames erupting violently from his hand as he charged at Lucifer with deadly intent. Lucifer calmly raised his hand, channeling his chi. Instantly, the gravestone soared toward him, crackling with fierce energy. Like a missile slicing through the air, the gravestone shot directly toward Mohan. Mohan's eyes widened in horror. "Oh, shh!" But before he could finish, the stone collided explosively, sending him flying backward in a fiery blast. He crashed down heavily, staggering as he tried desperately to regain his footing. The overwhelming force left him coughing violently, blood spurting from his mouth as pain ripped through him. Mohan clutched his chest, glaring furiously at Lucifer. "Who the hell are you?" he demanded, disbelief evident in his shaking voice. "Where the hell did this monster even come from?" Ignoring him completely, Lucifer sat down casually, his expression unreadable. "Do you have any pomegranates around here?" he asked calmly, his mind drifting to memories of his childhood, the big pomegranate tree towering in their backyard. He remembered his mother washing clothes beneath its shade while he and his sister laughed and played without a care. Mohan, still clutching his bleeding chest, snapped angrily. "Hey, forget the damn pomegranates! Answer my question!" He coughed painfully, trying to steady himself. "Fine, you're strong. I'll give you that. But the Chen family runs this city, and Baron Chen, the current patriarch, is the most powerful man in Hayden." Lucifer's eyes darkened dangerously as old memories resurfaced. Baron Chen was the man who once pursued his mother, causing Nana's jealousy to spiral out of control. Now Nana was his wife. Back then, nobody in Hayden dared challenge Baron Chen. Lucifer once believed Chen's feelings for his mother were genuine, until the day he overheard a conversation between Chen and Nana Shangguan. Lucifer clenched his fists tightly, eyes darkening as Baron Chen's cruel words echoed through his mind. "I'm the most desirable bachelor in Hayden. Why would I ever fall for a middle-aged divorcee? Get real." Lucifer's grip tightened further, rage simmering beneath his calm exterior. Chen was part of the reason my mom jumped. He's just as guilty as the rest of them. Mohan sneered arrogantly, surrounded by his men. Kneel by the front door and kowtow 1,000 times. Our patriarch's merciful. He might even let you keep your limbs for your funeral. Seeing Lucifer standing silently, Mohan smirked triumphantly, completely misreading the situation. Look at that. Mention Baron Chen's name once, and the kid's too scared to speak. Lucifer raised his hand impatiently, clearly done with the games. I asked if the hotel had pomegranates. Simple yes or no. I don't have time for nonsense. With a casual slap, Elder Mohan went flying through the air, shrieking in shock before crashing violently into the wall, collapsing it instantly into rubble. Silence fell like a blanket over the hall. Elder Mohan lay motionless beneath the debris, battered and bruised. Vivian gasped loudly, eyes wide in disbelief. No way. That's Elder Mohan. Lucifer turned calmly to Henry Chen. What about you? Do they have pomegranates here? Henry, shaking uncontrollably, stammered nervously. I don't think so, but I can send someone to get them. Lucifer's gaze pierced him sharply. Then do it. And remember, I asked for pomegranates. Meanwhile, on the fifth floor, a gathering between the families of the bride and groom was taking place. Sophia Shangguan, Nana Shangguan's sister, smiled politely as she spoke. Mr. Wen, the engagement of our children is wonderful news. Tinsley and Henry are such a perfect match. She continued graciously. Since Nana Shangguan and Baron Chen are currently away on business with no fixed return date, I'll be hosting today's engagement. I trust that's acceptable? Quincy Wen, patriarch of the Wen family, chuckled warmly. President Shangguan, you're too modest. Everyone in Hayden knows of your achievements. Having you as host is an honor. Turning toward Tinsley, Quincy added gently, make sure you spend some time with Henry when we head downstairs. Quincy Wen sighed heavily. Our family's facing tough times right now. We need strong allies. The only one in Hayden powerful enough to help us is Baron Chen. He looked at his daughter with sincere regret. Tinsley, I know Henry Chen isn't your type, but we're backed into a corner. I owe you big time for this. Tinsley nodded quietly, lost in thought. I've never had the luxury of choosing love over family, but there's someone who saved my life. I can't stop thinking about him. Without him, I wouldn't even be here. But that moment was so brief, I doubt we'll ever meet again, let alone thank him properly. Just then, a guard rushed into the room, panic written clearly on his face. President Shangguan. There's some guy raising hell downstairs. He killed Mateo Zhao and seriously wounded Elder Mohan. Now he's threatening Henry Chen. Sophia Shangguan slammed her hand on the table, furious. Who is he? How dare he? He'll pay dearly for this. Quincy Wen confidently stepped forward. President Shangguan, leave this to me. One strongly worded letter from me should be enough to send this troublemaker running. Sophia watched quietly as Quincy confidently wrote his letter, fully convinced his words alone would swiftly put an end to the chaos. After Quincy Wen finished writing, the guard respectfully took the letter, announcing with admiration, Mr. Wen is a legendary figure in calligraphy. Just one letter from him can make even the toughest man break out in a cold sweat. Meanwhile, Tinsley turned to her father, quietly asking permission to go downstairs. Quincy nodded gently, giving his consent. As Tinsley Wen gracefully descended the grand staircase, every head in the room turned in awe. So that's Tinsley Wen? She's drop-dead gorgeous. Man, I'd die a happy guy if I got to marry a woman like her. As Tinsley's eyes swept across the chaotic hall, thoughts raced through her mind. Who exactly is this fearless troublemaker causing all the fuss? Suddenly, her gaze landed on Lucifer, sitting casually, swirling his drink without a care. Her heart skipped a beat, realization hitting her like a lightning strike. It's him. That's him, she whispered softly, pulse quickening as memories flooded back. 2 years ago, I traveled with my father for a business deal, she recalled, but things had quickly taken a dark turn. The deal collapsed, and our partner betrayed us, kidnapping both me and my father. In that moment, I truly believed I was going to die. But just when I'd lost all hope, a mysterious man had descended from above, like a warrior straight from a kung fu movie, sending cars flying effortlessly. He had saved both her and her father without even breaking a sweat. Even now, after all these years, I can't get him out of my head. No man I've met since even comes close, she thought, her emotions bubbling over as she ran toward him. Nearby, a guard helped Henry Chen back onto his feet, quietly informing him, Mr. Chen, your fiancée, Miss Wen, is coming downstairs to see you. Hearing this, Henry's confidence instantly swelled. She's finally coming to me? He'd spent ages trying to get close to Tinsley Wen, but she'd always kept him at arm's length. Henry smirked proudly, straightening himself up. Looks like I've finally won her over. Henry Chen spread his arms confidently, flashing his best smile as he prepared to greet Tinsley. Tinsley, my bad if I scared you. See, I'm all good now. But before he could finish flexing, Tinsley breezed right past him like he was invisible, throwing herself straight into Lucifer's arms. I've been missing you like crazy all these years, she blurted out passionately, clinging onto him for dear life. The crowd immediately exploded into shocked murmurs, eyes practically popping out of their heads at the scandalous scene. Yo, hold up. She's stepping out on Henry Chen already? They're not even hitched yet. One man exclaimed in disbelief. Henry stood there frozen like a deer caught in headlights, his face ghost white. His fiancée had just publicly hugged another man right in front of him at their own engagement party, no less. Tinsley's eyes went wide with amazement as realization hit her full force. No way. It's really you. Lucifer's mind flashed back to 3 years ago. He'd unknowingly rescued his childhood friend. Back in those days, he and his sister had been the black sheep everyone avoided, but Tinsley Wen had stood by them even when her powerful family threw shade. My dad and I would have been goners if it wasn't for you, Tinsley confessed earnestly, gratitude filling her eyes. I never got the chance to thank you properly. I'm Tinsley Wen. What's your name? Lucifer met her gaze steadily, lips curving into a playful smirk. Fend Zhan, he replied casually. Fend Zhan, he echoed, one of many aliases he'd worn like masks, names born out of necessity. His real name, Mucifer Zhan, had been tossed aside years ago by the man who took him in, calling it childish. Tinsley tilted her head thoughtfully, a spark of recognition flickering. That's wild. One of my best friends growing up had the last name Zhan too, but I haven't seen him in ages. Lucifer's lips curved knowingly. Don't worry. I bet you'll cross paths again someday. Little did she know, the friend she'd missed for so long was standing right in front of her. Meanwhile, upstairs, the guests finally relaxed, tension fading away. Looks like the drama's finally wrapped up. Time to chill and refill these drinks. Another guest laughed, shaking his head. Man, Baron Chen might run Hayden with an iron fist, but Mr. Wen, his words alone got that dude downstairs running scared. Just as everyone was hyping up the upcoming marriage, a guard suddenly burst into the room, panic clear on his face. Mr. Wen, bad news, that dude downstairs. Wen smirked confidently. Let me guess. Now he's begging me to write something special just for him? He chuckled arrogantly. Tell him it's already an honor if he gets even 3 words from me. He should frame them and worship them when he gets home. But the guard, completely panicked, quickly interrupted. No, Mr. Wen. It's Miss Wen. She was all over him, right in front of everyone. Before Quincy Wen could process the shock, the guard rushed in urgently, grabbing his arm, panic written all over his face. Mr. Wen, please hurry and come see this. Quincy quickly set his drink down, following the guard through the hallway, his heart starting to race. As they reached the balcony and peered over, his expression instantly darkened at the shocking sight. His daughter openly hugging someone who definitely wasn't Henry Chen. What the hell? Quincy muttered, bewildered. Sophia Shangguan followed closely behind, still smiling casually, oblivious to the chaos below. Let me guess, is that troublesome nephew of mine stirring things up again? She joked lightly, but deep inside she knew the bitter truth. Henry's a lost cause. He once forced himself on a girl, and the Chen family swept it under the rug like it never even happened. As Sophia leaned over the balcony next to Quincy Wen, her eyes finally settled on the scene below, and her smile dropped instantly. Hold up, what the hell is going on down there? She exclaimed sharply, voice rising in disbelief. Her eyes locked furiously onto Tinsley Wen. Mr. Wen, explain this immediately. Who's this random man holding your daughter? In front of her fiancé, no less? How dare she shamelessly flirt like this in public? Quincy Wen, still reeling in shock, wiped the cold sweat from his face, desperately confused. I have no clue. This punk was supposed to get scared off, and now he's openly taking my daughter away? Sophia's glare sharpened into anger. This is unacceptable. I won't let your daughter disgrace the Chen family's reputation. If you can't get this under control right now, you'll have to explain it to my brother-in-law yourself. Quincy Wen hurried downstairs, determined to figure out the situation. Let me see what's really going on down here. But as he reached the bottom step, his eyes practically popped out of his head. Tinsley, what on earth do you think you're doing? In front of everyone? Tinsley eagerly called out, excitement clear in her voice. Dad, look, it's him, the man who saved us, the one you're always talking about at home. Quincy Wen stared in utter disbelief, his mouth dropping open. Wait a minute, he's really the one who saved us? Realizing the truth, Quincy quickly rushed forward and eagerly grasped Lucifer's hand, shaking it warmly. I've been turning this city upside down trying to find you. But as he studied Lucifer's face more closely, a flicker of confusion crossed his features. Hold on, you actually look familiar. Tinsley quickly jumped in, clarifying. Dad, I already asked. His name is Fend Zhan, not the Zhan we used to know. Lucifer calmly waved it off, playing it cool. It's nothing, really. Quietly, memories drifted into his mind. Tinsley had often invited my sister and me over. Quincy Wen always treated us like family. Even though he was a big shot with a huge business, he'd personally whip up meals for us. Meanwhile, Henry Chen ran desperately over to Sophia Shang, panic written all over his face. Auntie, you've got to help me out. This psycho just barged in here, demanding to see my mom. He even trashed Elder Mohan and our security guys. Sophia's voice turned sharp, anger flashing in her eyes. Relax, Henry. Nobody's allowed to act out in our house and get away with it. Turning her glare towards Tinsley Wen, she snapped icily. Quincy, is this seriously your explanation? Are you really letting your daughter openly hook up with this thug? If I'd known she was this shameless, we wouldn't have accepted her into the Chen family, even if she'd begged on her knees. Quincy's fists clenched, voice shaking with barely contained anger. You'd better watch your mouth. Sophia scoffed sharply, eyes blazing with contempt. Watch my mouth? Maybe you should watch your daughter. She's a total embarrassment. Lucky for us, it's not too late to call off this circus of a wedding. She continued coldly, her tone dripping with disdain. This engagement is officially dead. You'll repay the bride price tenfold, and your daughter and her little boyfriend better drop to their knees and apologize to my nephew, or nobody's leaving this hotel. Tears filled Tinsley's eyes, her voice shaking as she whispered brokenly. How can you talk about me like that? Lucifer stepped calmly in front of Tinsley, shielding her protectively as a cocky smirk appeared on his lips. And what exactly do you plan on doing about it? You think you can stop us by force? Without missing a beat, Sophia called out sharply, Mr. Westwind! The atmosphere instantly chilled as Westwind descended the stairs, his presence alone freezing the entire hall. Tinsley's voice trembled with fear as she whispered urgently, Lucifer, please be careful. That's Pierce Westwind, Baron Chen's #1 enforcer. Everyone in Hayden is terrified of him. He's ruthless. Elder Mohan wouldn't last a hot minute against someone like him. Henry Chen's furious voice thundered through the room, his face twisted in rage. Mr. Westwind, don't make it quick. That's way too good for him. I want this bastard suffering for the rest of his miserable life. His anger boiled over, fists shaking uncontrollably. This jerk humiliated me and snatched my fiancée right in front of everyone. I'll be damned if he walks away from this. Nearby, Elder Mohan slowly staggered to his feet, body trembling violently from pain. Someone, help me up, he barked, eyes burning hatefully at Lucifer. Glad you're here, Mr. Westwind. With you stepping in, I can rest easy knowing you'll avenge me. I want a front row seat. I want to watch this punk die. Westwind loomed over Lucifer, his cold, piercing gaze slicing through the tension. You're way out of your league, kid. I'll give you 3 seconds to make up your mind. His powerful voice echoed through the hall, commanding everyone's attention. Kneel, he ordered ruthlessly, or die. Sophia scowled deeply, voice dripping pure contempt. He's seriously letting him off with a choice to kneel? Her mind raced in disbelief. Fierce Westwind isn't just some street-level thug. He's practically the Chen family's personal hitman. Henry stepped forward with a nasty sneer, arrogance flooding his voice. Son of a bitch! You should be thanking your lucky stars! He glared arrogantly at Lucifer. Now that you're my family's dog, you'd better roll over when you're told. His angry gaze snapped sharply to Tinsley. And you, how shameless can you be? Throwing yourself at another man right in front of everyone. Tinsley's voice turned icy and clear, eyes unwavering. Henry Chen, let me make it crystal clear, I have zero interest in you. From now on, stay out of my life. Henry spat angrily, losing his composure. What did you just say? You're so caught up with this bastard you've forgotten who you are. His hand shot forward aggressively. But before he could touch Tinsley, Lucifer calmly stepped between them, gently tapping Henry's cheek as if scolding a child. Yo, chill. So, still no pomegranate? He asked lightly, treating the chaos around him as nothing more than a minor annoyance. Henry's expression twisted violently, his rage exploding. You're still running your mouth about that stupid fruit? Mr. Westwind, destroy this arrogant punk! Westwind instantly launched himself forward like a bullet, sparks igniting across the marble floor from his sheer speed. His fist blazed with furious energy as he lunged toward Lucifer, his voice booming like thunder. Time's up, punk! You're dead meat! As Mr. Westwind closed the distance, his eyes suddenly caught the plate hanging casually from Lucifer's belt. His breath hitched instantly. It looked exactly like the legendary general's plate. The War Wings division was straight up legendary. 100,000 elite soldiers who'd reclaimed lost territories in the infamous Battle of Dragon Tower. Only their top generals got to flex these special plates. Westwind had once tried to join their ranks himself, but washed out immediately. The plates were ranked clearly. Iron, bronze, silver, then gold, but at the very top, the rare black plate, marked with a majestic rock, was reserved exclusively for a genuine warlord. Fierce Westwind lunged forward aggressively, flames blazing, but Lucifer vanished in a split second, disappearing like smoke in the wind. Before anyone even realized what happened, Lucifer reappeared effortlessly in front of Henry, leaning in with mock politeness. Where's my pomegranate? Westwind roared furiously, flames exploding around his clenched fist. You're finished, brat. Try being humble for once in your miserable life. Get ready to meet your maker. But Lucifer casually turned around, and as he did, the plate at his waist shimmered ominously, revealing the majestic rock insignia etched clearly onto its black surface. A black general's plate? Westwind's eyes widened in absolute shock as his flaming fist collided violently with a sudden burst of invisible energy, a chi shield erupting effortlessly around Lucifer, completely negating his attack. What the hell? Is this the legendary chi shield? Westwind stammered, his eyes locked in horror onto the rock insignia. Staggering backward, Westwind's mind raced in disbelief, panic surging through him. The only person qualified to rock that plate is. His voice cracked as realization fully hit him, and before he could finish his sentence, his knees buckled helplessly beneath him. He instantly dropped to the floor, his forehead pressing desperately into the ground, trembling uncontrollably in pure fear. Sophia frowned deeply, baffled by Westwind's sudden collapse. What on earth's gotten into you, Mr. Westwind? You having a stroke or something? Henry's panic went from 0 to 100 real quick. He shouted frantically, "Someone call 911 right now." Urgency dripping from every word. Vivian quickly rushed forward, attempting to defuse the chaos. "Relax, we've got first aid kits right here in the hotel." The medics burst into the room, quickly assessing Westwind's condition. "Hang tight, Mr. Westwind. We'll get you stable before rushing you to the hospital," Henry yelled frantically, panic rising. "He's having a stroke. This is life or death. He needs emergency treatment right now or we're going to lose him." His panic escalated further as he shouted urgently, "Forget the meds. Start CPR. He needs to wake up first." Whipping around, he snapped at a nearby staff member, barking orders. "You, yeah, you, move it. Give Mr. Westwind CPR immediately." Sophia watched approvingly, thinking, now that's how you handle a crisis. Hopefully, Henry learns to step up more often. The staff member dashed over in a hurry, shouting nervously, "I'm coming, Mr. Westwind. Hold on, CPR coming right up." But suddenly, Westwind's eyes flashed open, glowing red with pure fury. "Get your hands off me," he roared, unleashing a fierce slap that blasted the staff member straight into the medics, knocking everyone down like bowling pins. Henry staggered back, totally stunned. "Mr. Westwind, what the hell are you?" Westwind, fully enraged now, swiftly delivered a powerful slap straight across Henry's face, sending him stumbling backward. "Do I look like I'm having a stroke, you idiot? Are you blind?" he thundered. Glaring at Henry with bitter contempt, Westwind thought furiously. Baron Chen might be sharp as hell, but his kid's a worthless waste of space. Westwind spun around sharply, fixing Sophia with a piercing glare as she challenged him. "Mr. Westwind, have you completely lost your mind?" she demanded angrily. Westwind sneered internally, stepping back in disgust. "I'm not going down with these idiots. Arrogance only works if you've got brains to back it up. Sophia Shangguan is exactly the kind of fool who thinks she's untouchable." Sophia's face twisted in rage, voice rising. "How dare you speak to me like that, you worthless thug? When my brother-in-law returns, I'll..." Before she could finish her threat, Westwind's palm smacked her face with a brutal slap, spinning her body violently as she crashed onto the floor, jewelry scattering everywhere. Her dignity shattered instantly. Sophia scrambled back to her feet, seething with humiliation and fury. "You traitorous dog! Security! Drag him out immediately!" But before anyone could move, Westwind's palm struck her face again, snapping her head sharply to the side. Panic surged through Westwind's thoughts as realization finally hit him. Baron Chen may be a big shot around here, but at the end of the day, he's just a local thug compared to someone who defies gods. His body trembled, fear flooding him. Damn, I was blind. Hopefully that man will overlook my stupid mistake earlier and spare my worthless life. Sophia seethed furiously, glaring daggers at Westwind. "You worthless traitor, are you teaming up with him to humiliate my family? I'll have you both fed to the dogs." Suddenly, an explosion rocked the hall, sending shockwaves through the room. From the thick smoke emerged Tank, Lucifer's trusted subordinate, charging forward at lightning speed. Sophia recoiled in horror, eyes wide with panic. "Who the hell are you? What do you want?" Tank effortlessly grabbed her leg, lifting her into the air as if she weighed nothing at all. His voice echoed through the hall, cold and merciless. "Anyone who disrespects His Highness gets wiped out." Without hesitation, Tank slammed Sophia viciously into the ground, the thunderous impact cracking the floor beneath her. Relentlessly, he hauled her up again, his grip like iron, before driving her down once more with a devastating thump, leaving cracks and debris flying everywhere. Tank stood imposingly over Sophia's battered form as she sprawled weakly on the shattered floor, coughing painfully. "Please," she choked out, barely audible. Ignoring her pitiful plea, Tank calmly reached for his massive hammer, gripping it tightly. Without a moment's hesitation, he swung it down brutally. Bang! 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 Strike after ruthless strike landed mercilessly, each powerful blow sending tremors through the entire room. Tank finally exhaled, resting his hammer beside him. He turned respectfully toward Lucifer, his voice steady. "Your Highness, the boys are taking care of things at the cemetery. Thought I'd drop by in case you needed anything." Lucifer smirked slightly, crossing his arms casually. "Tank, this is a hotel, not a war zone. You can't just smash up everything in sight with that giant hammer of yours." Tank turned, looming ominously over the terrified underlings, gripping his hammer tighter. Anybody stupid enough to stand in His Highness's way gets introduced to my hammer. Mr. Westwind visibly trembled, realizing how easily Tank could flatten him into a pancake. If that hammer even grazes me, I'm dead meat. Nearby, the elder's face drained of all color as the realization hit him like a freight train. This mountain-sized brute works for that kid? How powerful is this guy? Damn it, I totally miscalculated. Vivian and the remaining bodyguards, their confidence completely shattered, dropped instantly to their knees in terrified surrender. Henry trembled uncontrollably, hands shaking as he pleaded desperately, "Please, please, don't kill me." Lucifer's calm voice sliced through the tense silence. "Where's the thing I asked for?" He lightly slapped Henry's face, snapping him back to reality. Henry stammered nervously. It's coming right up." He whipped around frantically, yelling at one of his underlings, "Hey, where the hell is it?" Moments later, Henry presented the item to Lucifer, bowing his head submissively. "My apologies, sir. Here's the pomegranate tree you requested." Lucifer examined the tree briefly, lips curving into a faint smirk. "Nice, this'll make a perfect surprise for my sister." Henry, still shaking like a leaf, forced a shaky smile onto his face. "And now that you've got your pomegranate, my parents are currently abroad. Maybe you could come back another day?" Lucifer turned calmly, his expression unreadable but cold as ice. "In that case, accept this little gift on behalf of your mother, and tell her." Lucifer's eyes darkened as he hurled the gravestone forward, his voice turning chillingly cold. "I'm coming for your whole family in exactly 1 month." With a powerful bang, the heavy slab crashed down, sending shockwaves rippling through the room. Henry tried to move but found himself unable. Looking down, his face instantly turned ghostly pale. He realized the massive slab had crushed his legs beneath it. He screamed in agony, face twisted in unbearable pain. Lucifer didn't spare him another glance, turning around casually, coat billowing dramatically behind him as he strode away. Tank gripped the wheel of the sleek white Range Rover as they cruised smoothly through the bustling city streets. "Your Highness, you ready to go see Whitney now?" he asked, glancing respectfully toward the rearview mirror. Lucifer leaned back casually in his seat, the pomegranate tree gently resting on his lap. He nodded slowly, allowing himself a rare, genuine smile. "Yeah, let's roll." Whitney, that was his sister's birth name. After all these years of relentless searching, they'd finally tracked down her location. Lucifer was now headed to reunite with her. The moment he dreamed about for years was finally here. Lucifer stared thoughtfully at the grand entrance of Hayden First High, the city's top-tier school, reserved only for the cream of the crop. Whitney Zhan, his little sister, attended here. #1 in the entire city. Lucifer reflected quietly. Her name's Yvonne Long now. After I left, our aunt had no choice but to hide her away with a close friend to keep her safe from Nana, Shangguan, and Baron Chen. It's been 10 long years. Back then, she was just an innocent little girl. Now she's all grown up. From a distance, a group of thugs lounged casually near the sidewalk, trading crude jokes and snickers among themselves. "Yo, that chick's smoking hot. She's a total knockout and ripe as hell." One thug snickered, voice dripping with filth. The laughter grew quieter, but even nastier. "That's the hottest girl in Hayden First High, man. Bet she's untouched too. Boss is gonna have one hell of a night." "Enough talk," the leader Jack grunted irritably. "The boss wants that girl, so we're here to deliver. But listen up, no funny business, got it? Mr. Pooh's got a nasty temper, and I'll throw your asses under the bus if anything goes wrong." From afar, the thugs continued moving, their smirks turning more twisted. "Relax, Jack. We're just kidding around," one muttered. "Yeah, lighten up. It's all just banter." Another laughed nervously, but Jack wasn't amused. "Shut it!" he snapped fiercely. "Wait till she's alone somewhere quiet after school, then we make our move. Keep it quiet. No witnesses." Their twisted plan was already underway. One thug attempted to ease the tension. "Chill out, Jack. We scoped it out already," he reassured casually. "Her parents ain't the fighting kind. Mr. Pooh just tosses them a few bucks and a good scare and they'll shut right up." Jack immediately slapped him hard across the face, voice sharp, and furious. "Watch your damn mouth! That girl should feel lucky Mr. Pooh even looked her way. There ain't no money involved, idiot." Jack knew loose lips could offend Mr. Pooh, and offending him was practically signing your own death warrant. His expression darkened further. "Once Mr. Pooh finishes, maybe we'll have some fun ourselves," he muttered darkly. Then, sharply barking orders, he snapped, "Now get that damn car out of the way!" The shaken thugs scrambled to obey, stumbling hastily toward the sleek white Range Rover parked nearby. He slammed his palm rudely against the window, shouting impatiently, "Hey, move your ride, asshole! You're blocking our business!" Inside the vehicle, Lucifer didn't even spare him a glance, calmly flipping through a book. With a chilling, casual tone, he replied softly, "Get me a cup of tea, and I'll let your rude behavior slide." His eyes briefly flashed coldly, thinking quietly to himself, "These idiots bullying people in broad daylight. Too bad they picked the wrong guy to mess with today." The thug's face twisted with rage as he slammed even harder on the car window, barking furiously, "What the hell did you just say to me?" A cup of tea? I'll give you a pot of piss so you can see your reflection and realize who you're messing with. From behind, Jack, the leader of the thugs, quickly grew impatient. Yo, why the hell isn't this guy moving yet? The thug turned around, shouting incredulously, Jack, this psycho seriously asked me to get him a freaking cup of tea. Instantly, the thugs exploded into mocking laughter, completely losing it over the absurdity of the situation. Jack sneered coldly, eyes glinting with malicious amusement. This punk wants tea, huh? He shamelessly turned around, openly urinating into a cup, mocking Lucifer with a nasty grin. Here you go. I even threw in some extra bubbly water just for you. The thugs burst into hysterical laughter again, thoroughly entertained. Damn, Jack, that's priceless. One jeered, slapping his knee. Lucky guy's getting some fresh homemade beer today. Another smirked nastily, egging them on. Their loud laughter and crude mockery caught the attention of students who began trickling out from the school gates nearby. Meanwhile, inside the Range Rover, Lucifer's mind drifted into memories. The old alley in the south, demolished 2 years ago. Auntie used to live there. If she hadn't hidden my sister back then, Nana Shangguan would have hunted her down for sure. Just as Lucifer was deep in thought, Hey, are you deaf? I'm talking to you. Jack roared, slamming the disgusting cup against the window, splashing piss all over the glass. You're screwing with the wrong guy, punk. Suddenly, another thug shouted urgently from the side. Jack! Noticing the girls exiting the school gate. Yo, Jack, check it out! That chick's leaving school. Jack spun around instantly, his expression shifting, but he wasn't about to leave quietly. With a furious growl, he snapped at Lucifer. This isn't over, asshole. He tossed the remaining piss against the window, letting it drip disgustingly down the glass directly in front of Lucifer's calm, unrateable face. Meanwhile, just outside the school gates, Yvonne stepped out, chatting cheerfully with her classmate, totally unaware of the chaos unfolding nearby. Yvonne, thanks a ton for helping me with homework, her friend said gratefully, beaming brightly. I would have flunked hard if you hadn't explained everything step by step. Yvonne smiled modestly, casually brushing off the praise, but suddenly her friend's voice grew tense, making her glance up. Yvonne, look, those creeps who harassed you the other day, they're back. Yvonne narrowed her eyes slightly, immediately recognizing the group of thugs laughing arrogantly as they approached. Her friend tugged nervously at her sleeve, whispering urgently, Come on, Yvonne, let's find a teacher, quick! Meanwhile, a group of female classmates, girls who'd always been jealous of Yvonne's looks and popularity, began whispering loudly behind her back. Oh, look, those creeps are back again, one girl muttered smugly. Another's eyes narrowed maliciously at Yvonne, a cruel grin spreading across her face. Would you look at her? She practically screams trouble. Yvonne glanced back, her heart sinking slightly as their whispers reached her ears clearly. I know, right? No wonder she's always the target, another snickered nastily. There's always a reason. Jack stepped forward, a smug grin plastered across his face. Hey there, princess. Where do you think you're running off to today? A few brave male classmates immediately stepped in front of Yvonne, trying to shield her. Show some respect, man. This is a school. You can't bully her here, one of them shouted bravely. Jack swiftly grabbed the boy by his collar, snarling fiercely in his face. Kid, who do you think you're talking to? I am the law around here. Without another word, Jack swung his arm, slapping the boy so hard his head spun like a cartoon character. Yvonne quickly stepped forward, worried for their safety, and shouted bravely, Stop it! Get out of here! I can handle myself! Jack chuckled darkly, stepping closer with a twisted grin. Little girl, quit resisting. You're coming with us whether you like it or... Just then, the sharp screech of tires tore through the air, causing everyone to whip their heads around dramatically. An orange motorcycle skidded stylishly into view, halting sharply right in front of them. Yvonne, hop on, quick, the rider shouted urgently. Yvonne's eyes widened in surprise and relief. Miss Xia? Without hesitation, Yvonne jumped onto the motorcycle, gripping tightly as Miss Xia kicked it into high gear. The bike roared to life, spraying dust and dirt all over the bewildered thugs as they sped away dramatically. Jack stood frozen, jaw clenched so tight he looked ready to bite steel. One clueless lackey blurted out nervously, Jack! They took off with the girl. Should we chase after them? Without missing a beat, Jack smacked him firmly across the back of the head. They're on a motorcycle, you dumbass. What are you gonna do, run after them like an Olympic sprinter? Jack scoffs loudly, flicking his cigarette aside with casual disdain. Try using that thing on your shoulders once in a while, he says, mockingly tapping his temple. You'll need it when you're stepping around the law. Capiche? One of his thugs leans in eagerly, sensing Jack had something up his sleeve. Yo, Jack, you must have a plan, right? Jack smirks confidently, eyes gleaming maliciously. That chick's old man runs a food stall down at the night market. Where else would she hide out? He chuckles darkly, adding, Besides, I'm starving. Let's give her dear daddy a chance to treat us to dinner. Courtesy of the house, of course. The thugs burst into nasty laughter, thoroughly amused by the idea. Hell yeah, that's a solid plan. one grins. Another thug pats Jack approvingly on the shoulder, laughing loudly. Free grub and chicks! You're the man, Jack! Unseen by them, Lucifer watches silently from his car, his eyes narrowing dangerously as his grip tightens around the steering wheel. Asshole, he mutters coldly to himself, voice dripping with quiet fury. Above, the city sun blazes brightly, heat shimmering off the pavement as the motorcycle speeds through traffic. Miss Shia stays laser-focused on the road ahead, while Yvonne clings tightly to her waist. Eventually, the motorcycle slows down as it rolls into the bustling night market. Miss Shia carefully maneuvers through stalls packed tight with sizzling food and chatting customers until they spot him. Donald Long, Yvonne's adoptive father, expertly grilling skewers at his small stand. Yvonne hops off the bike, her face lighting up with a warm smile. Dad, I'm home from school! Donald glances up from the grill, his expression softening. Sweetheart, go inside and start your homework. I can handle things out here. Then, noticing Miss Shia behind Yvonne, he immediately brightens, calling out cheerfully, Oh, Miss Shia, perfect timing. I'm just finishing up this lamb leg. This one's for you. Miss Shia smiles politely, shaking her head gently. Thank you, but I really can't. I've got something urgent to attend to. Donald insists warmly, refusing to take no for an answer. Miss Shia, no matter what you've got planned next, you must eat first. It's fresh off the grill. Please enjoy. Yvonne leans in close, hugging Miss Shia's shoulders affectionately as she whispers softly, Miss Shia, can you please keep what happened earlier between us? I don't want my dad worrying about me. Donald, completely unaware, gently places a small cake on the table, his face filled with warmth and slight embarrassment. Happy birthday, Yvonne. His eyes soften, guilt shadowing his expression as he sits down. I'm sorry, sweetie. This little cake is all I could afford. Sorry I couldn't get you a bigger, fancier one, or buy you any expensive gifts. Please forgive your old man. Tears quickly well up in Yvonne's eyes, but she smiles brightly at her father, shaking her head. Dad, I told you not to waste money on my birthday. I don't need cakes or gifts, just one of your lamb legs, and I'm the happiest girl in the world. Miss Shia leaned in gently, smiling softly. Yvonne, go ahead. Make a wish. Yvonne nodded warmly, hands pressed together in a quiet prayer-like pose. I want Mom and Dad to stay healthy, and my biological mom, may God bless her soul, to be at peace, far away from all hatred and pain. She closed her eyes, heart heavy yet hopeful, silently finishing her wish. And please, let me reunite with my brother soon. Her mind drifted briefly, lingering on the brother she hadn't seen for 10 long years. Lucifer, you've been gone for so long. How are you doing now? Do you have someone who loves and cares for you? But suddenly, the loud screech of tires shattered the peaceful moment. Doors slammed open as a van skidded to a halt nearby, jolting everyone back to reality. Yvonne's eyes widened in shock as Jack stepped out with a nasty, smug grin. Thought you had something important going on. Turns out it's just your birthday. He stormed forward, rudely grabbing a chunk of birthday cake. He took one bite, grimaced dramatically, then spat it out in disgust. Bah, what's this crap? Tastes like piss, he sneered, throwing the plate aside. Without hesitation, Jack flipped the entire table over, sending the cake and everything on it crashing to the ground with a loud clatter. He glared at Donald, jeering cruelly. You broke-ass old man. Can't even afford a decent cake. You're pathetic. Not even a real man. Why don't you just end yourself? Suddenly, Miss Shia stepped in front of Yvonne protectively, arm raised firmly. Back off, she demanded. Yvonne Long is my student. Nobody lays a finger on her. Jack smirked lazily, completely unfazed by her defiance. Well, damn, I love me a feisty woman and a teacher too. Lucky night for me, he said sleazily, eyes gleaming with perverse delight. Miss Shia didn't hesitate, immediately delivering a sharp slap across Jack's face. Shut your filthy mouth. Jack staggered slightly, then chuckled darkly, licking the corner of his lip with twisted amusement. Oh, I like that. Keep it coming. We're gonna have plenty of fun tonight. His eyes flashed dangerously as he spread his arms, ordering his men aggressively. Get these chicks in the van! Donald quickly stepped forward, hands trembling yet voice steady as he desperately tried to defuse the situation. Wait, please. Mr. Jack, let's not rush into things. We can discuss this like gentlemen. Forcing a strained smile, he added. Tonight's beer and lamb legs are all on me. Let's sit, have a drink, and cool down. How's that sound? Jack narrowed his eyes, then smirked greedily. Now you're talking. I'm starving. Bring those lamb legs already. He dropped arrogantly into a seat like he owned the place, glaring menacingly at Yvonne and Miss Shia. You two stay put. I'll deal with you later. If either of you even think about running, you're dead. Jack tore aggressively into the lamb leg, smugly enjoying himself, while Yvonne clung anxiously to her dad, anger burning behind her eyes. Yvonne squeezed her father's hand, guilt clear in her voice. Dad, I'm so sorry. They're here because of me. Donald gently patted her hand, forcing a faint smile. Don't apologize, sweetheart. Nobody touches my girl as long as I'm around. Miss Shia stood nearby, quiet yet fiercely protective. Donald glanced at them both, quietly reassuring. I've called David. Everything will be fine. But deep down, his thoughts burned bitterly. Back when I had money, they feared me. Now I'm nothing, helpless. 10 minutes later, as lamb legs roasted on the grill, Donald finally spotted David approaching, relief flooding his features. Without wasting a second, Donald discreetly handed David a stack of cash, whispering urgently, "David, I'm counting on you." David flashed a laid-back grin, casually flipping through the cash. "Sure thing, man, but negotiating on an empty stomach sucks. Toss me another leg real quick." He chuckled, his carefree demeanor easing the tension slightly. Donald nodded with a faint smile, quietly masking the urgency behind his calm voice. "Coming right up." Yvonne carried a tray of cups with a heavy heart, her eyes downcast as the rowdy laughter of the thugs echoed harshly from inside. Jack threw a heavy arm around David's shoulders, roaring loudly, "Cheers, my man! Bottoms up, David! We're painting the town red tonight!" Moments later, Jack leaned back smugly, a toothpick casually hanging from his lips. He turned his gaze toward Donald, grinning nastily. "You know what, Donald? You can thank David for tonight." Donald felt a wave of relief wash over him, his tense muscles finally easing slightly as he glanced gratefully toward Yvonne. "Looks like that 2 grand I slipped, David wasn't wasted after all," he thought hopefully. But before he could fully relax, Jack's voice suddenly turned ice cold. "I'll give you a 50% discount on this month's protection fee," he sneered, "but your daughter comes with us." Donald froze, blood running cold. Jack raised a knife, his voice dropping to a deadly whisper. "Mr. Pooh wants her tonight. Hand her over quietly if you want to keep breathing, otherwise, this blade will do the talking." Donald's face tightened, his hands trembling slightly. "Jack, you must be joking. My daughter's only 16, just a kid. Please, anything else I can do? Anything at all." Jack's slap cracked sharply across Donald's face, sending him stumbling backward, ears ringing. Jack spat viciously, eyes blazing with disgust. "What could a broke bastard like you possibly offer? Still dreaming about when you used to be somebody, huh?" David stepped in closer, his voice low and venomous. "Pick your battles wisely, Donald. This ain't one of them. Mr. Pooh doesn't take no for an answer. Hand your girl over and you might still walk away alive." Donald's anger erupted, his voice shaking but fierce. I won't let you bastards walk all over me. Anyone who wants to touch my daughter will have to step over my dead body first." David's eyes narrowed dangerously. "Shut your damn mouth, old man. I was being polite. If it weren't for that damn cash, I'd have walked away ages ago." Before Donald could move, 2 thugs grabbed him roughly from behind. Jack growled menacingly, "Get down on your damn knees!" Donald was forced painfully to the ground. Jack spat right in his face, sneering cruelly, "She should count herself lucky Mr. Pooh wants her. Hell, you can't even afford a cake. You're nothing but bad luck. Anyone near you just ends up miserable." One thug stepped forward, flashing a crooked grin at Yvonne and Miss Shah. "Ladies, be dolls and come with us quietly. Nobody needs to get hurt." Miss Shah immediately shielded Yvonne, glaring fiercely at the thugs. Behind them, Donald fought furiously against the thugs restraining him, using every ounce of strength left in his body. The sudden surge of adrenaline, Donald broke free, sending the 2 thugs sprawling backward. Fueled by pure rage, he grabbed a nearby chair and smashed it straight into Jack's smug face with an explosive bang, refusing to go down without a fight. Jack wiped blood from his split lip, eyes blazing with fury. With a savage roar, he lunged forward, driving his foot viciously into Donald's face. Jack roared furiously, "Get him! I want him dead today." Immediately, his thugs descended upon Donald, kicking him mercilessly as he lay helpless on the ground. Yvonne desperately threw herself in front of her father, screaming, "Don't touch my dad!" Nearby, whispers echoed through the tense crowd. One woman shook her head sadly, murmuring, "That poor family." "I know," her companion replied grimly, voice low and resigned. "But Jack's the biggest bully around Tight on Night Market. Nobody dares cross him." Suddenly and entirely intentionally, a sleek white SUV screeched around the corner, slamming violently into Jack's van with a deafening crash of twisted metal and shattered glass. Out of the billowing smoke stepped Lucifer, his presence instantly commanding the entire scene. His calm yet piercing gaze swept over the thugs assaulting Donald, eyes narrowing dangerously. "All of you picking on one old man," he said, his voice calm but cutting like steel. "Aren't you ashamed of yourselves?" As Lucifer emerged through the clearing smoke, quiet gasps and whispers erupted among the bystanders, especially the girls, who suddenly found themselves blushing furiously, hearts fluttering. "He's not just cute," one girl murmured dreamily, practically swooning on the spot. "He's literally the most beautiful man I've ever seen." Another clutched dramatically at her chest, sighing breathlessly, "Oh my God, I can't handle this. I need to date him like yesterday." Meanwhile, Yvonne's eyes widened in disbelief as the dust slowly cleared. She stepped forward shakily, heart pounding, breath catching in her throat. He's... From within the smoke, Lucifer approached with steady, confident strides, his face softening warmly as he called out gently, "Sis!" Yvonne stood frozen, voice trembling with emotion. "Are you really Lucifer?" With a radiant smile framed by sunlight streaming behind him, Lucifer nodded softly. It's me, Lucifer. I'm back. Almost instinctively, Yvonne pinched her cheek to be absolutely sure. It's not a dream, she whispered, tears pooling in her eyes. Then, without hesitation, she rushed forward, throwing herself into Lucifer's open arms. You're really back! You're finally home! She cried joyfully, her voice thick with relief and happiness. Yvonne cupped his face gently, eyes sparkling through her tears. I wished so hard to see you again, and here you are. Her voice softened hopefully as she smiled faintly. Lucifer, will you stay? Lucifer gently held Yvonne close, his voice warm yet firm. Yes, I'm staying. From now on, anyone who lays a finger on my sister becomes my enemy. His eyes narrowed sharply, a powerful aura radiating from him. I am the king of war wings. Half the land bows to me, and my word is absolute. I never break a promise. Jack stormed forward furiously, eyes blazing with rage. So it was you, that little punk from the school, he spat venomously. Back for more humiliation, huh? Sneering nastily at Lucifer and Yvonne, he growled. If you're really her brother, then you owe me 1.2 million for wrecking my van, or you're not leaving this night market alive. Lucifer glanced curiously at Yvonne, completely unfazed by Jack's rant. Yvonne, today isn't your actual birthday, is it? She smiled softly, eyes gentle. Not my real one, but 10 years ago today, Auntie brought me into this family. My dad always calls it my second birthday. She chuckled quietly, adding, so I celebrate both. Lucifer nodded warmly, a faint smile on his lips. I see. Without another word, he turned calmly toward the SUV, leaving everyone momentarily speechless. Moments later, Lucifer returned carrying a delicate pomegranate bonsai. Here, he said softly, presenting it to Yvonne. My birthday gift to you. Her eyes instantly lit up, sparkling brightly. Pomegranate, I love it so much, she exclaimed happily, holding it close. Meanwhile, Jack's face twisted with fury as Lucifer calmly ignored him, his gaze firmly fixed on Yvonne. Trembling with rage, Jack screamed wildly, You trashed my car, asshole! Don't act like nothing happened. You're not getting away with this. David quickly grabbed Jack's shoulder, voice low and soothing. Jack, calm down. Let me handle it. We gotta find out who this punk is first. No need to rush. Jack gritted his teeth furiously, but nodded reluctantly. Fine. I'll let you deal with him. Putting on his most condescending smile, David stepped forward confidently. Listen, kid, wrecking someone's car isn't how civilized society works. He smirked arrogantly, adding, but since Donald Long and I go way back, I'll cut you a deal. Pay Jack $1 million, kowtow until he feels better, and we're golden. Deal? Lucifer, completely ignoring both Jack and David, gently said to Yvonne, Whitney, after you're done admiring the pomegranate, would you take me to see Auntie? It's been 10 years. Yvonne's eyes flickered with emotion as she quietly nodded. Auntie. Okay. Lucifer noticed her hesitation, gently placing his hands on her shoulders. What's wrong, Yvonne? Did something happen to Auntie? She looked down, troubled. Auntie has been facing some issues. It's a long story. Her voice softened further, eyes troubled. I'll explain everything when we get home. Meanwhile, David growled irritably, annoyed at being ignored. Think you're a tough guy, huh? You'll regret this. He turned to Jack, muttering dismissively. I don't recognize him. He's nobody important. Not from any big Hayden family, just some clueless brat. Jack's patience snapped completely. He roared at his thugs. What the hell are you waiting for? Get him! Kill that son of a butch! Yvonne gripped Lucifer's arm tightly, whispering anxiously, Lucifer, I'm scared. Lucifer calmly faced the approaching thugs, gently replying, Don't worry, I've got this. He casually turned to the thug brandishing a blade, eyes calm yet unwavering. Hey, where's that tea I asked for earlier? You're seriously taking your sweet time. The thug growled angrily, raising his weapon high. Are you blind? You're about to die, moron! Screw your damn tea! He lunged forward viciously, but Lucifer effortlessly blocked the incoming blade midair with astonishing speed. Then, in one swift punch, he sent the thug hurtling backward like a crash test dummy. Another thug rushed in, swinging a baseball bat wildly. Lucifer ducked low with fluid grace. The bat whistled harmlessly overhead, then bang! Lucifer delivered a brutal, perfectly timed punch straight into the attacker's solar plexus, knocking the air and fight completely out of him in one strike. Lucifer didn't even blink as the next thug lunged forward aggressively. He simply reached out, casually catching the incoming fist midair. Then, with a smooth, almost dismissive slap, Lucifer spun the thug's face around, sending him reeling backward, dazed and disoriented. Yet another attacker charged, tightening his grip on a baseball bat. Lucifer vaulted smoothly into the air, his coat slicing through the wind like a blade. His foot came crashing down on the thug's head with a thunderous crack, driving him straight into the ground like a hammer pounding a nail. And still another dared to step forward, foolishly confident. Lucifer sidestepped effortlessly, eyes half-lidded in boredom. With a swift twist and flash of movement, he delivered a crushing blow to the man's ribs. The attacker's body bent unnaturally, launching into the air like a rag doll tossed by a hurricane. David and Jack froze completely, mouths hanging open, eyes wide in sheer disbelief. Lucifer stood alone amidst the wreckage, coat flowing gracefully, without a single scratch on him. Just one man. But in that moment he seemed like an entire army. Jack stared, eyes wide with disbelief. What the hell? Is this guy even human? He gasped, visibly shaken. David muttered nervously under his breath, "Aw, crap," as Lucifer calmly raised a finger, motioning casually, "Hey you, Jack, was it? Step over here. I've got a question." Jack swallowed hard, desperately trying to regain his bravado. "Kid, don't get cocky. You have no clue who you're messing with." "I'm making a call," he barked aggressively, stumbling backward. Lucifer smirked lightly, raising his finger again in invitation. "By all means, go ahead," Jack snapped angrily, pointing at Lucifer. "You stay put. My cousin's coming with backup. They're gonna trample your ass." David stepped forward cautiously, lowering his voice in a sinister warning. "Listen closely, kid. You're about to drown in trouble. Jack's cousin, Mr. Wong, runs this entire district. He's got dozens of hired goons on his payroll. Even I have to play by his rules." Jack and David exchanged smug glances, sneering arrogantly as they laid out their demands. "Hand over your sister and $1,000,000 now, then drop to your knees and beg Jack for forgiveness. It's your last chance. Once Mr. Wong shows up, you're finished." Suddenly, Donald rushed urgently to Lucifer's side, eyes wide with panic and disbelief. You must be Yvonne's real brother," he exclaimed. He gripped Lucifer's arm tightly, voice trembling as he pleaded desperately. "Listen carefully, son. You need to leave immediately. Mr. Wong is ruthless. He's not someone regular folks like us can handle." Donald pointed anxiously toward a shop across the plaza, his voice tense with dread. "See that place over there? Used to be an internet cafe. The owner refused Mr. Wong's protection demands. Next thing he knows, he's in a car accident. Poor guy's been in a wheelchair ever since, and the cafe disappeared overnight. Everyone knew Wong did it, but no one dared lift a finger." Lucifer listened silently, seemingly unfazed as he calmly picked up a nearby chair. With a gentle, respectful touch, he helped Mr. Long sit down comfortably. "Thank you," Lucifer said warmly, smiling genuinely, "for taking care of my sister all these years." He paused slightly, adding softly, "You don't have to work anymore. From now on, I'll make sure you live comfortably." Nearby, a thug laughed mockingly, sneering loudly at Lucifer's calm words. "What a joke! Dude, you're not even gonna see tomorrow's sunrise!" Panicked, Donald urgently tried once more. "Lucifer, take Yvonne and get out of here quickly. Leave this to me. I'll manage somehow." Even Yvonne, clutching his arm desperately, pleaded softly, "Lucifer, please. They have so many people, we should leave now." But Lucifer just smiled calmly, placing a reassuring hand atop Yvonne's head. "Who said I'm alone? I've got an army behind me, 100,000 soldiers strong. We ride together wherever we go." Jack burst out laughing hysterically, doubled over mockingly. "Are you all hearing this idiot? He thinks he's got an army and 100,000 soldiers. I'd sure love to see that." At that exact moment, the deafening sound of tires screeching filled the plaza as vehicles roared onto the scene, stopping sharply one after another. Car doors swung open in perfect sync as uniformed men stepped out, flooding the entire area in disciplined formation. A heavy silence fell over everyone. "Mr. Wong's here," one of the thugs announced nervously. Mr. Wong stepped out, his voice slicing sharply through the tense air. "Bring that little punk over here, now!" Jack eagerly straightened up, nodding enthusiastically. "Yes, cousin," he called out obediently. Marching arrogantly toward Lucifer, he barked harshly, Hey, he's talking about you, tough guy. Move it." Without so much as a glance, Lucifer casually raised his hand, delivering a smooth, brutal slap across Jack's arrogant face, stunning him instantly. David stormed forward furiously, face twisted in outrage. "You dare pull that stunt right in front of Mr. Wang? You must have a death wish." But again, without even looking in his direction, Lucifer landed another crisp, powerful slap, this time straight across David's cheek, silencing him immediately. Jack stumbled back, clutching his stinging face, desperately yelling to Mr. Wang, "Cousin, did you see that? He's blatantly disrespecting you. He doesn't give a damn that you're even here." With his back still arrogantly turned, Mr. Wong trembled with rage. "God damn it, that cocky little punk. I'll count to 3 and you'd better be crawling to me on your knees." He picked up a leg lamp beside him, brandishing it menacingly without bothering to face Lucifer. 3. Quinshia suddenly stepped forward boldly, her voice firm and clear. "Mr. Wong, I'm Quinshia from the Xia family. Would you please let us go? If not for me, then out of respect for my grandfather?" Inside, Quinn's brow furrowed anxiously as she thought, "Damn it. I thought Yvonne's brother could handle himself, but now he's got Mr. Wong here personally. What a hot mess." Mr. Wong sneered disdainfully, still refusing to turn around. "Ugh, the Xia family? Girl, even your grandpa Stephen Xia would be on his knees talking to me. Who the hell do you think you are?" But Quinn bravely stepped forward again, refusing to back down. "Please, Mr. Wong. Yvonne is my student. I can't just stand by and watch you take her." Lucifer glanced at Quinn, genuinely impressed by her courage. He gave a small nod, warmly saying, Miss Shia, thank you for standing up for my sister. You just earned yourself a royal friend. Quinn snapped back irritably, shooting Lucifer a frustrated glare. Can't you keep your mouth shut for once? Your big mouth got us into this mess in the first place. What good is your friendship now? Meanwhile, with his back still stubbornly turned, Mr. Wong raised 2 fingers with a dramatic flourish, growling confidently. 2. Lucifer tilted his head slightly, smiling calmly. 1. Mr. Wong froze mid-count, eyes widening in shock. A cold sweat broke out across his forehead as he snarled, You son of a, and spun around furiously, but his voice died instantly, face twisting into pure disbelief and terror. What the hell? How is it him? Why is he here? He thought, his entire body now shaking uncontrollably. It was Xander Wang, the feared head of security at Capitol Hotel, also known on the streets as Mr. Wang, and the same man Lucifer had effortlessly beaten up just a day ago. Meanwhile, Jack, still completely clueless about his cousin's panic, muttered smugly to David, Man, this guy must have driven cousin nuts. Look, he's shaking in anger. Totally unaware that Mr. Wong's trembling wasn't rage, but sheer, unfiltered fear. Jack, still completely oblivious to the looming disaster, barked arrogantly, Keep poking the bear, dumbass. See where it gets you. Get down on your knees and start begging. David stood slowly, shaking his head and muttering gravely, You should have listened earlier, kid. Things didn't have to end this way. He sighed dramatically, pretending remorse. But you asked for it. The idiotic thug, still acting tough, spit boldly into a cup and swaggered confidently over to Lucifer. Here's your tea, asshole. Drink up, he sneered, completely clueless about the disaster heading his way. Suddenly, Mr. Wong whipped around and slapped him so hard across the face it echoed through the plaza. Get lost, you worthless piece of trash. Then, without mercy, Wong viciously forced the cup back into the thug's mouth, growling furiously. You dare disrespect Mr. Zhan? You tired of breathing, punk? Jack stepped forward, eyes wide in confusion and panic. Cousin, what the hell is going on? Mr. Wong didn't hesitate. He struck Jack brutally across the face, sending him sprawling to the ground. You're asking me? I should be asking you. How dare you disrespect Mr. Zhan in my territory? Still fuming, Wong slapped Jack again, screaming, Who the hell do you think you are? Leave me out of your damn death wish. David began panicking openly now, muttering anxiously, What's gotten into Mr. Wang? This isn't looking good. Backing away slowly, he put on a nervous grin, stammering, Mr. Wong, I have something urgent to handle. I'll just step aside and leave you guys to it. But Mr. Wong pivoted fiercely, landing a vicious slap so powerful David spun through the air before crashing hard onto the ground. Panicking, David scrambled to his feet, babbling desperately, Mr. Wang, I'm just an honest broker here. I swear I wasn't involved. Shut your damn mouth! Mr. Wong growled, delivering a ruthless kick that sent David sprawling again. Completely terrified now, Mr. Wong rushed toward Lucifer, collapsing dramatically onto his knees. Voice trembling, he begged desperately, Mr. Zhan, I'm truly sorry. I had no idea it was you. Please forgive me. Donald stared wide-eyed, heart racing as he realized Yvonne's brother wasn't just anybody. Relief flooded him that Yvonne was safe, but worry crept in. Mr. Pooh backs these thugs, and his family's as powerful as the Chens. Could Lucifer really handle such giants alone? Yet, deep inside, Donald was suddenly eager to see how this would play out. Quinchia stood frozen, mouth agape, utterly shocked that the notorious Mr. Wong had fallen to his knees before Lucifer, a respect her own powerful grandfather never received. She shook her head slightly, whispering under her breath, I thought he was just a cocky knucklehead. Turns out he's a seriously dangerous knucklehead. Lucifer stood tall and unyielding, calmly staring down at Wong. Yvonne Long is my sister, and these scumbags tried to hurt her. Tell me, if someone had targeted your family, would you let it slide? Without waiting for an answer, Lucifer unleashed a fierce blow, launching Mr. Wong into the air. Get lost! Lucifer thundered, sending Wong crashing spectacularly into a wooden stall, debris scattering everywhere. Lucifer's cold eyes immediately snapped onto the idiot thug from earlier. With a sharp gesture, he commanded chillingly, You, come here. Effortlessly, Lucifer flicked his fingers, using his telekinetic power to drag the thug straight toward him, the man flailing and yelping helplessly. Lucifer leaned forward calmly, a small, icy smile on his lips. So, where's my tea? The thug stammered in terror. Sorry, sir, I'll get right on it. But before he could finish, Lucifer flicked his hand dismissively, sending the thug flying helplessly through the air, crashing into a heap. Jack, watching in pure horror as Lucifer turned slowly toward him, panicked and quickly threw all blame onto Mr. Pooh. Mr. Zhan, it wasn't me. Mr. Pooh ordered it all. He's the one who wants your sister. I was just the errand boy. Lucifer's gaze turned cold as steel, eyes sharp and unforgiving. Oh, don't worry, I'll pay Mr. Pooh a visit very soon, but right now, Lucifer cracked his knuckles ominously. We have our own debt to settle. Lucifer grabs Jack by the hair and drags him across the ground like a discarded rag. No mercy, no words, just cold, unyielding judgment. Still holding Jack by the hair, Lucifer's voice cuts through like ice. This is your doing. Now lick it clean for me. Wipe away every trace of your disgrace. Jack stares in shock and fear, knowing there's no escape from this humiliation. Trembling but defiant, he manages to choke out. Mr. Zhan, can't we keep it within reason? Go ahead and kill me if you want, but I'm not taking this humiliation. Lucifer's eyes narrow, his tone laced with hyperbolic venom. What? You're trying to reason with me now? Where was that sense of honor when you poured piss on my car, you ungrateful punk? In a flash of brutal retribution, Lucifer smashes Jack's head against the car. He growls, "How dare you even think of reasoning with me?" Dazed and humiliated, Jack has no choice but to submit. Lucifer slams his head into the car again and commands coldly, "Lick it clean for me, would you? Now, scrubbing away every bit of your shame." Jack trembles, blood trickling down his face. With a stutter, he mutters, "Oh, of course, I will." Moments later, he's on his knees, tongue out in utter degradation as he obeys. Lucifer then calls out, his voice icily calm, "You, come here." As David nervously stumbles forward, Lucifer's gaze sharpens. He snaps, "Weren't you the one who told me to get on my knees? Now show me you mean it." Desperation overtakes David as he leans forward, trying to kiss Lucifer's feet in supplication. But before he can, Lucifer strikes him square across the face, sending him crashing backward. Grabbing David by the collar, his eyes burn with disdain. "You are not worthy to kneel before me, you spineless worm." With a fierce grip, Lucifer yanks David up and then unleashes a brutal barrage of slaps across his face, each one a stinging reminder of his failure. After sending David reeling to the ground, Lucifer glares down coldly and demands, "Now tell me, what did you do wrong?" David pleads, voice cracking with guilt. "I was meant to be the mediator here, and I failed to be impartial. It was all my fault." But before he can finish groveling, Lucifer lands another merciless smack. His tone, as cold as death itself, follows. "Then what are you waiting for? Get on with it." Trembling and bloodied, David slowly turns his head toward Donald, the very man he'd wronged. Crawling pitifully, he sobs, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Long. I was wrong. I never knew who I was dealing with. I did you wrong. Please, please forgive me." His voice quivers as he clutches his leg. Suddenly, a desperate cry rings out, "Mr. Long! Mr. Long!" Donald turns and sees Jack, finished licking his shame, running toward him. Jack drops to his knees, gripping Donald's leg with a pleading desperation. "I'll treat you like a real brother. Please show me some mercy and let me go." Sweat streams down Jack's face as he trembles. He blurts out, "I'll return your protection fee double, no, 10 times what you gave me, as a token of my remorse." Then the stupid thug steps forward, voice shaking with contrition. "Mr. Long, we were wrong." And one by one, the thugs fall to their knees, pressing their heads to the cold floor in supplication. "Please forgive us this time." Lucifer's eyes burned like frozen fire as Mr. Wong scrambled forward, trembling like a leaf in a storm. "Mr. Zhan, please, I wasn't involved," he pleaded, voice cracking like cheap glass. Lucifer's dark grin was as cold as winter's bite. "I never said you were," he replied, his tone dripping with icy disdain. Mr. Wong's confusion was palpable. "Then why the beating? I can't even feel half of it." Lucifer shot him a look that could curdle milk. "Listen up. Everyone here's going to break a finger, then you can hit the road." Desperation overtook Mr. Wong as he fell to his knees, begging, "Please, Mr. Zhan, we are sorry." Lucifer's gaze sharpened like a razor. "2 fingers," he intoned, his words as cold as a death sentence. One by one, the thugs knelt, their pleas tumbling out. "Mr. Zhan, we all realized our mistakes." Lucifer didn't flinch. His voice was a deathly calm, slicing through the air. 3. With every word, the price of their arrogance escalated. Jack, his voice trembling like a scared rabbit, tried to interject, "Mr. Zhan, I—" But Lucifer didn't turn. His tone was as chill as a graveyard breeze. "One whole hand, and one more word out of any of you, and I'll have your tongue too." The room fell deathly silent. Each thug's next word could be their last. Mr. Wong's eyes flicked to a bat lying forgotten on the floor. "What the fuck are you waiting for?" With gritted teeth, he snatched it up and in a flash, smashed it against his own hand. The sickening crunch echoed as his arm shattered. An abrupt, brutal wake-up call that hit them like a tidal wave. Panic exploded as they realized they were next. Instead of bottles, machetes lay ominously before them. One by one, the thugs raised their blades with trembling hands, and soon the air filled with screams. Painful, raw, and unfiltered. Lucifer's cold voice sealed their fate with finality. "Get lost." Clutching their broken hands, the thugs scrambled away like rats scurrying from a sinking ship. Yvonne's grateful smile broke through the carnage as she looked at Lucifer. Finally, it was over. Miss Quinn interrupted Yvonne, her tone cool but insistent. "Lucifer, can I have a minute alone with you?" she requested calmly. Once they were aside, she said, "You've grown during your time away. I'll give you that. But don't kid yourself about Hayden. It's more dangerous and twisted than you think." Her voice hardened like cold steel as she continued. The Chen and Pu families will come after you sooner rather than later. And when they do, Yvonne's peace will be the first thing they shatter. Lucifer smiled as calm as a winter lake. Thanks for your concern, Miss Quinn, but you don't even know half of what I'm capable of. With that, he turned and walked off with Yvonne and Donald, exuding unwavering confidence and composure. Miss Quinn clenched her fists, muttering under her breath, reckless. Just pure recklessness. As Lucifer and company left the chaos behind, he quickly noticed the dilapidated neighborhood they were entering, a far cry from what one would expect as home. His eyes roamed over the cracked walls, the reek of sewage hanging in the air, and the eerie, broken silence that blanketed the area. His heart sank like a stone. This is the home Yvonne has known all these years? He clenched his fist, bitterly thinking that she deserved so much more than this sorry excuse for a neighborhood. Stepping inside, Lucifer's gaze swept over the cold, cramped room. No proper flooring, no warmth, no comfort. So this is where Yvonne lived all these years in miserable silence. Donald, head bowed with regret, murmured, Lucifer, I'm sorry. I couldn't give Whitney a better life. She struggled with me, and I failed her. But Lucifer shook his head, gripping Donald's hand with fierce determination. Mr. Long, what are you saying? You were the one who protected our family when no one else would. I should be thanking you, not the other way around. Yvonne stepped in with a warm smile and said, Stop it, you two. We're a family. She handed Lucifer a cup, adding, Here, have some hot water. Sorry, we don't have tea at home. Donald chimed in with a gentle laugh. You two haven't seen each other in a decade. Sit and catch up. I'll leave you to it. But Lucifer's sharp eyes caught sight of Donald's wounds. Calmly, he retrieved a small container and handed it over. Mr. Long, you're hurt too. Use this. It's a special ointment. Just slap it on, and you'll be back in the game faster than you can say miracle medicine. As he handed over the ointment, Lucifer mused silently. This is that mystery man's secret recipe, crafted just for me. It's the very elixir that kept him alive through more battles than I can count. While sipping his drink, Lucifer turned to Yvonne and asked, Whitney, where's Mr. Long's wife? Why isn't she around? Whitney's voice softened as she revealed the truth with a tinge of sorrow. My stepmother passed away 8 years ago from illness. Even though she wasn't my birth mother, to me, Mr. Long has always been my real dad, raising me through every storm. Yvonne clutched her skirt, holding back years of pain like a tightly sealed secret. Gently, Lucifer took her hand and reassured her with a calm, deadly promise. I swear, anyone who dares hurt you again is going to wish they'd never been born. His anger boiled over as he cursed the Pooh family for having the nerve to touch his sister, and he vowed to unleash his full wrath. And for the man who abandoned their family, he promised to spill that bastard's blood in honor of their mother's memory. No ifs, ands, or buts. The next day, Yvonne told Donald she was heading out with Lucifer to visit her aunt. Donald smiled warmly as he urged her, Go on, say hi to your aunt for me. I'll be all right. An hour later, a group of ominous men approached Donald's house. Without a word, they kicked the door in with a resounding bang. Outside stood a ragtag band of thugs, led by a red-haired brute sporting a nose ring and a scar, flanked by others with faces as cold as ice. The red-haired thug stormed in and grabbed Donald by the collar. Donald Long, when are you going to pay up that $5 million debt? Shocked, Donald remembered it was the Eagle Private Financing Company's debt, a ballooned nightmare after borrowing $100,000 for real estate that tanked miserably. Trying to keep his cool, Donald asked, Does Mr. Liu know about this? Tell him to come. I want to talk to him in person. The thug mocked him furiously. Without warning, he slapped Donald across the face, yelling, Wake the hell up, old man! Just then, the thug's phone lit up. Mr. Liu was calling. The red-haired thug answered respectfully and confirmed he was at Donald's place, agreeing to wait. But as soon as he hung up, his attitude shifted. You got your wish, old man. Mr. Liu is on his way. You'll regret ever asking for this, he sneered. Donald warned him to watch his mouth, boldly insisting he'd regret it when Liu arrived. In a flash, the redhead snapped back, calling Donald delusional and delivering a savage slap across his face. Furious, the redhead threatened to cripple him before Mr. Liu even showed up, his lackey drawing a blade and handing it over as if it were a token of his menace. Just as the redhead raised his sword, a shout broke through the tension. Mr. Liu's here. Panic flashed across his face as he barked orders to clear the way. Several sharp-looking men in black uniforms soon approached the doorway. It turned out the man everyone feared, Mr. Liu, was actually David. He entered alongside Jack, both wearing stern expressions. Are they here to get revenge for what Lucifer did? We'll find out in the next parts.